Good afternoon. This is Kathleen and this is my Alabama farm life, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on my yard again. This is going to be on the other side of my driveway. This driveway goes down to my covered parking area, and this is in between my yard and my neighbor's yard, and there is a lot of work to be done. I'm going to go ahead and start working over here at the corner. And this first seedling or sampling that I'm going to cut down is one of those that has all those nasty little thorns on it. And then I'm also having to deal with a lot of wisteria that's growing over here and a lot of briars too. I'm thinking that once I get all these bushes removed and some of these nasty roots out of the way, that this would be a really good spot for maybe some fig trees. During the summertime, it's shaded so that they would get protection from the hot sun. Now, I thought about putting some blueberries over here, but blueberries love the full sun. I could put them here in the shade, but they would not produce as well as if they had full sunlight. I was also thinking that maybe I could buy some thornless blackberries or some raspberries to put over here, but I think probably my best option is maybe I can grow some ginger and maybe some turmeric over here. Again, it's going to be shaded from the bright sun of summer, so maybe that's an option. But that's the one that I'm leaning to the most. One of my biggest challenges over here on this side of the yard is the fact that there is a huge amount of wisteria growing over here. And although it is a very beautiful plant, it really does not have a lot of uses that I have discovered, other than just being a really big pain. I mean, it really is. So I did a little research on this type of wisteria, and this is actually, I believe it's called the Chinese wisteria, and it is the most invasive wisteria that we have in the United States. This wisteria has taken over this section of my yard. I've tried really hard to keep it mowed down, but you can, if you walk through my front yard, you can actually see the thick vines running across the ground and smothering out the grass. So one of my goals is to try to get rid of this invasive species of wisteria. Although it's very beautiful, it has no medicinal purposes that I have found, and it's actually toxic. Have I told you guys how much I love this metal blade on my Ryobi weed eater? It has just made cleaning up my yard so much easier. And I also purchased a new tool recently, and it's a little hand saw. I actually watched a bunch of reviews, and this was actually the second best one. And so I went ahead and purchased it, and I really like it. It works really well. I cannot tell you how handy this little pocket saw is. I've been keeping it in my truck, and what I have been primarily using it for is when I go out to the field. Sometimes when I take that narrow path that goes out to the back fields, sometimes those little trees have fallen over, and I can just jump out of my car, whip out this little saw, and cut down anything that I need to get out of my way. Usually I use my little chainsaw that I have. I have the electric Ryobi chainsaw, and it works really well, but I thought that I'd go ahead and use my little pocket saw and get some of this work done. I'm not going to cut these trees down too low. I have discovered over the years that if you cut them down too low, there's a good possibility that you're going to trip over them. So eventually I will get my chainsaw out here, and I'm going to cut these down to the ground and try to get out as much as the root as possible. But that will be a chore for another day. Now, as I was looking at this video, I realized that behind me, between my house and my neighbor's house, that is nothing but wisteria. Now, there is a piece of fence there and a pine tree that has fallen down, but everything else that is behind me, that is all wisteria sprouts coming out of the ground. That is how much wisteria is in this little field between our houses. When I clipped through this little tree and the branch actually came off, I almost expected it to fall down. However, it did not. It is attached to the tree next to it with briars and, of course, more wisteria. So it took me a little while to get it down, but I did get it down. So it really didn't take me a long time to do this little area. I think it took me about an hour, maybe a little bit more. But once I got out here with my metal blade on my weed eater, it made really great work of all the wisteria that's popping up and all the briars. But here's a little look of what it looked like before I started. And yes, that is a hunt stand there, and I got to figure out what to do with it. And this is what it looks after, which, as you can see, I still have a lot of work to do, but it looks much better. And I'm really loving these daffodils that have lined this little hill. They are beautiful. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate you all being here and supporting me. You guys have a blessed and joyous day, and I will see you on my next video.